So here we are, day one. Don't know what to think really. I mean, find shelter, find food. And how am I going to do that? It's a really bizarre concept. I'm leaving my home, I've had my last sleep. Don't know, it's nerve-wracking, isn't it really? It's the coldest week of the year, apparently. And I'm nervous, I don't, it's my living hell. But hopefully it'll all be worthwhile. Right, so it's 11 o'clock. We're on our way to the day centre in Chelsea, Glassdoor's day centre. So just try and figure out where I can survive, where I can go and eat, I guess, for the week, and what services are out there for us. Just gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We've just left the Methodist Church in Chelsea. I've been fed. They've given me some great advice as to where I can go and maybe try and find a shelter. If I can't get any money together, which I'm going to have to beg for now, I'm pretty much stuck on the street here tonight. I met up today with Stefan, who's an old friend of mine at Glassdoor's charity in Chelsea. Without places like Glassdoor's, a lot of these immigrants have got no support whatsoever.
Normal, că îmi pot întreține familia.
Așa. He said he came to this country and he's suffering what he's suffering to eventually to get a job, get a life like everybody else, to help his family, to help his family, and for him is an everyday basis is the challenge to survive. Lots of people, they are brilliant artists or they are great singers, they have lots to offer to this community or to this country, but they don't get the right help. I speak 12 languages, I have a degree in languages and psychology. I think I have loads to offer. I've been a gymnast. I think I need a chance to prove myself.
11 o'clock at night. It's about -2 out there. I've got no idea how I'm going to get to sleep out here. It's noisy, it's cold, hear footsteps everywhere, it's bloody frightening, I've got to tell you. The reality is really hitting home now, and it's only day one. Don't know how I'm going to do the next 4 days. I think today I just need to find some more answers. It's about 8 AM. I think I've had about 30-40 minutes of solid sleep. It's absolutely freezing out. I can't feel my feet. I feel like I've done 12 rounds and I'm absolutely battered. I honestly don't know how I'm going to make it through 4 more days of this. I need to get in the warmth somewhere, so I'm going to head over to the day centre and see where we go from there. Two very dear friends of mine who I've known for many years were very kind enough to donate some cookies that they bake and bring them down to Glassdoor's. I had to catch up with them afterwards.
I'm Sasha, this is Polina, so we're co-owners of a company called Ken and Jesse's Cookies. We obviously make cookies for a living and sell them to retailers to bake off and sell to customers. And we came down today to try and share them with other people.
Obviously everyone knows that homelessness is a big problem, but to see it to that extent, and this is just one shelter out of many just in this area, so it's definitely a bigger issue that I think that people actually think.
It might not be the biggest way to change people's lives, but every little counts, I guess.
The rough sleeping in London has doubled over the last 5 years, currently 7,581 people. I caught up with a dear friend of mine, Patsy, another advocate against homelessness.
I was an advocate for a homeless gentleman that I met in Eastern Europe. They're not giving the right information. These people are going around villages and then they're saying come to London, come to the UK, you can get work. They're educated, they're skilled, and then they come to London and they get exploited. They're coming over here and they want a better life, and it's just not the case.
What I've come to realise is that to survive out on the streets, I've had to buddy up with someone, and Rick has been an absolute saviour for me. Without him, I don't know how I'd cope out here. It's 11 o'clock at night, I managed to rustle some cash together to get myself on the bus, keep myself in the warmth while I get a few hours kip before I got to head back out on the road again.
So I've struggled with any sleep last night. This morning I've woken up absolutely starving. All I had for dinner last night was a pork pie given to me by one of my homeless pals.
It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm thinking pretty much on day 3 now, I'm losing track of time. Today I'm going to get my stuff together and get over to the city and check out maybe the Crisis Day Centre down there. Just saw one of my old city mates. Thankfully he's bought me one of my old favourite meals, a bit Japanese. It's quite funny because he's asking me, you know, does everything taste amazing at the moment? And in reality it doesn't. My begging at Liverpool Street Station didn't last very long. I had a City of London police officer, apparently have been watching my sign on their cameras, approached and informed me that if I continue to beg, I could be arrested. What am I meant to do? There's nothing out there to help me. I need to make money. I have to survive. What other option have I got? But I stand to be fined on top of that, and I stand to be arrested on top of that for a basic necessity. I don't quite get how that works. Sign's gone into the bin. I'm now off to Price's Skylight to go and meet Rick and see what's going on down there. I think last year they've helped circa 700 people on the right track with mental health services. Same with housing, 2,000 people they helped get into sustainable long-term housing. This is so important for giving people a better life and getting them off the streets, which is what it's all about. It's all kind of making sense. I'm starting to acknowledge everything that's happening. You've got your morning survival, your afternoon survival, and then your night survival. Everything you're doing has no real direction. You're not walking with a purpose, you're just walking to survive. You're going from one place to the next. As soon as you close your eyes, you kind of know you're taking a huge risk, right? There is no guarantee you're going to open your eyes in the morning, and that's the big worry. You just got to accept that death is a potential.
I'm in Leicester Square tonight. Went to Mayfair. That was just the worst place ever to go to. Door to door, everyone, there's like 10 people on each road walking up and down begging for money. Worst nightmares happened now, it started to rain.
It's 10 a.m-ish, just waking up, looked up, no food, no drink here. So it's another challenge to face today.
Some of the days that they do, I know it. Oh, the sleep away, look. Sleeping, you've got to be very careful because, like, people, they set fire to your sleeping bags. I used to sleep under floorboards, me, in empty houses and that. I used to climb in and sleep under floorboards. In time of need, Christmas time is the most dangerous thing for people, really, isn't it? Because people die, don't they? Deaths. I lost all my family, my mum, dad, brother and sister in 12 months. So, really, I survived it all right this year.
Waiting for Rick to turn up now. We're going to walk over to Shoreditch again. He's got a meeting at Crisis. They're going to try and help him with his housing issues, try and help him get back on his feet. So today, given the weather, it's raining, it's cold, we decided that we'd head over back to Crisis in Shoreditch to Skylight Centre. Rick here had a meeting while we were there to try and help him progress back into housing. How'd that all go?
It was quite emotional, actually. I was discussing with my key worker that I was in Romania, in Transylvania, my city, and I was young, and I wanted to be independent, to make my own money. And some people said to me, right, if you want, can take you to Czech Republic to make some money. I ended up in Prague, sort of to get a job, and I got into a prostitution ring. that I didn't find any way out. I was forced to do things that I didn't want to. If I didn't want to do, where I was beaten up, locked into a flat, and yeah, it's kind of hard, to go through this. Just suffering in silence and nobody can hear my voice. So.
Take a moment to listen to their stories. In reality, the longer you stay on the streets, the harder it is to get off. Let's end by sleeping.
Last night, me and my boy Rick were in Little Venice, under the bridge. I consider myself a fighter, but this life you cannot survive alone. But alone on the street, you're consumed by it very, very quickly.
It's day 5 now. For me, there's light at the end of the tunnel. I get to go back to my normal life. Yeah, there's moments before I left my house. Thought process was pretty simple. It was all about survival, food, shelter. I think reality first started to set in when I made my way over to the Chelsea fire station, and I took my rucksack off, laid the bag down, and actually got into it. The silence hits, you become aware of everything around you. The first person we spoke to was Stefan. We shared a common interest in boxing. But after a while, you realise that becomes secondary to the real problems that this person has and the real struggles they face daily.
Lucrez stabil și normal, ca să îmi pot întreține familia.
Așa. He said he came to this country and he's suffering what he's suffering to help his family, to help his family, and for him is an everyday basis is the challenge to survive.
That was really difficult for me to hear. I know what that's like, but I've always had the support network around me. This guy's got nothing. I was first introduced to Rick a few weeks back through Stefan, more as an interpreter, and bizarrely, Rick became everyone's interpreter. And you slowly realise that there are so many people out there with multiple skills that are so hard to find, but yet go unnoticed. That first night on the street is one that I'll never ever forget. I mean, that cold bit through every part of my body. It destroyed my mind, it destroyed my spirit, and it just set the pace for the rest of the week, really. Starting the next day was really difficult. Waking up hungry is one of the worst feelings you can ever have. The first few nights I was getting lucky and waking up with food around me. The last day, I fasted for pretty much 24 hours. It dawned on me that you can't survive on the street alone. You try that, you lose. And you subconsciously look for somebody to bounce off, somebody to kill time with. And I found that with Rick. As the days go on, your brain just slowly deteriorates and you start functioning on less and less abilities. Heading over to Liverpool Street, I thought, go back to where I know, familiar ground for 12 years of my life. I'll be well looked after there. Only to find that I'm going to get kicked out by a police officer. But the police officer even informed me, if I continue to beg, I'm going to get a fine, I'm going to get arrested and potentially end up in court. Can't stress enough the point that most people I've come in contact with who are sleeping rough on the streets are just like you and me. They're willing, they're able, but have no opportunity to get themselves off the street. More needs to be done to change this.